you today. I'm your host, Renee Barron. Thank you for joining another Quintessential Roots podcast. Today we're in for a treat. We're focusing on the healing and metaphysical properties of crystals. So it is believed that the human body is a representation of the universe. All the elements in the solar systems are contained within our human bodies. And so these stones that are in the earth all are within our oceans and rivers. They're made of love and provides healing. And in some cases, these special stones contain the wisdom of the collective consciousness. And so we can learn to tap into these secrets. And so there's been many cultures since ancient times from ancient Kamit and others older. But Kamit is the modern day Egypt, as you know. I always mention that. And they are mentioned in the Bible and many times throughout the full Bible, from the Old and the New Testament. These ancients call these stones precious stones, and they can be used for manifesting abundance, prosperity, actualizing your goals. But there are many critics who call these healing properties a placebo effect, where the positive results are simply because the subject's belief system. And if that be true, if it's just a healing effect of the belief system, why scoff at the placebo since it's providing relief? My stance. But throughout history of the planets, there has been beings such as Buddha, the Christ, also known as Huru in ancient Kemet, and the god Ra, who has been reported to have communicated to humans in recent times. There's a psychic media, Carla Record, who was interviewed by Don Elkins, and these conversations can be found in the book called The Law of One. But he mentions the god Ra. He never said he was a god, but the god Ra states that these pyramid stones are alive. And that's why when many tourists go to visit the pyramids in ancient Egypt, they report feeling invigorated by the pyramid stones. And so um, when you look at the history of the crystals, everything, the ancients used them for healing and doing various things. Um, the robe of the pharaoh had veneers of these precious stones in the garment, and the breastplates had motivite, petalite, phenakite, danburite, uh, brookite, and various stones of quartz, and all of these stones were mentioned in their garments. So today we have a beautiful young lady by the name of Teresa Sangapuletele. I'm sorry, Sangapuletele. She is a wife and mother of 5 children. She's an echocardiographer, a certified meditation coach, and the owner of Stillness Gems and Wellness Center. After 15 years of experience in the medical field, Teresa decided to pursue clinical hypnotherapy as a career with the goal of supporting people on their wellness journeys. Teresa is a creative heart, and she designs crystal and air plant home decor sets, which she offers in conjunction with her hypnotherapy and guided meditation services. So, without further ado, let's bring this lovely young lady on. Hi, Teresa. How are you? Thank you for joining.
Hello. Thank you, Renee. I first want to start off with thanking you for having me here today. It is such an honor, and I really appreciate that you take so much curiosity in other people's work, and that you do your research and all of that. So I really appreciate you taking the time to interview me today.
Well, thank you. So, tell us, Teresa, about your profession and how you got into the business of selling these crystals. crystals and gems?
Oh, yes, of course. So, as the owner and founder of Stillness Gems Wellness Center, I do provide modalities that have personally assisted me on my own healing journey. I experienced quite a large loss when I was 21 after losing my mom to ovarian cancer. And this was before I became a mother and a wife. And so there were many things that assisted me on the journey of really healing from that and learning from it and turning it into more of a transformative process for me. And part of that, part of the healing process that I have incorporated into my practice is guided meditation. So I do offer that at Stillness Gems, as well as hypnotherapy. I feel that hypnotherapy is the biggest part of my practice because it's such a large and very potent modality to incorporate into your wellness practice, into your self care, and your own emotional and personal development. And so that's the largest part of my practice. But then, of course, I also incorporate crystals into my practice as an anchor, a physical anchor to help people to connect really with the intentions and the goals that they set for themselves. Because that's really part of the process is believing that you can achieve what it is that you put your mind to. And then sometimes we need that physical reminder that it is possible and that you are truly working on it and that you want it to happen for you.
So let's talk a little bit more about that. How do you incorporate it into your crystals into your hypnotherapy session?
So with my hypnotherapy sessions, of course, I speak with the client and make sure that she or he is available, or not available, but open to the idea of working with crystals. And I explained to them exactly what I had just mentioned is that it's a nice physical reminder that we can anchor them into that intention that they have for themselves, whatever habit they want to break or what they want to bring into their life. And then the properties of the crystal that I either recommend or that they bring into session, that is basically like an amplifier that boosts their intention, that when they see it or when they hold it or when they even think about it, that it helps to remind them again, like, okay, I am working on this, so maybe I shouldn't make that decision in this moment because it's counteracting what I am working on. So in hypnosis, usually towards the end of the hypnosis part of the session, I will have them either hold it, or if they don't have it physically in their hands, then have them visualize it. And basically, I will give them suggestions that are affirmations of that particular crystal and have them essentially program it during their session.
Okay, very good. That's really interesting that you do that. I think that's a very great idea that you had. I know they use crystals in Reiki. Reiki practitioners use crystals for healing. Is something that I do with my quantum healing sessions because
Yeah.
they are like you said, amplifiers. And so I
Yes.
have the clients put them on the different chakra points during that session. So that's really awesome. Um, so let's talk about your gem and nair sets. Exactly is that?
So I have one right here actually, and it's the first Gemini set that I made, and it stays in my office with me. So I don't know if you can see it
That looks nice,
too.
and we have pictures too. But I like that. Is that
Yeah.
like blue sand?
Yes. So it is blue sand. I added blue sand to this. And it, so it has blue sand. It has decorative moss, and then it has rose quartz chips, and then an amethyst slab on the bottom there, and then what's called desert rose on the inside, as well as an amethyst sphere, and then an air plant. which air plants, they don't require soil.
Yeah.
And they're actually pretty low maintenance. It just, you have to have, uh, they like humidity. That's the only thing. And
Yeah.
yeah, that can be a problem in some homes, but yes.
Yeah, I had some air plants. I'm like, during COVID, I had all kind of plants everywhere, and I had my those little air plants, and you're supposed to spritz them every once in a while. I'm not real consistent, so I actually killed one, and it's really hard to do that. Let me go ahead and bring on some of the pictures that you have of your sets here, and then you can kind of describe them.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so let's see if we can go.
Yes. So
I
this
don't know.
one, oh, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead and explain this one.
All right. So this particular set was actually adopted by a very special person in our family's life. And so this one is no longer available. But basically, I start off with a container, which is the gold crescent moon. And then what I did was I added a base with the decorative moss. And I like to use a lot of color, but obviously not too much, because then of course, it takes away from the crystal, which is the main point of the set. And then I have a pink lace tower there, right in the middle. And then behind it is an aura geode. And the
Good.
aura geode, yeah, it's a little hard to see back there, but what that does is it helps to basically elevate the properties of the pink lace as well,
Is this
and which is why it's behind it. Yeah,
what are
go
the
ahead. So pink lace is a lot of the meaning behind the crystal has to do with the actual color of the crystal. And so because it's pink, it does have supportive properties for the heart chakra. And because it's in a tower, sort of, it's carved as a tower, what happens is that the energy and the properties basically get shot up from the base of it, and it's like a fountain, if you think of it that way. So the energy is shot up and out, and then it just kind of falls through the room. So, and other than that, pink lace, this particular pink lace was made in Indonesia. And so I love the vendors that I work with. This particular family is a small family, and I love working with families in particular because I know that it's going directly to them. They mine it themselves, and for the most part, and what I know to be true about the people that I work with is that they mine it respectfully and ethically, I want to say is the word. And so when I purchase from them, it makes me feel good because I'm supporting a small family. And then also, as it moves out of my hands into, in this particular case, an auntie of ours, I feel like it goes to the proper home, or the home that it needs to go to.
Oh, that is so wonderful. I love that. I really do.
Yes.
Ethically mind. So that's the key word for me. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And let me put up the next one. This one.
Oh, yes. So this particular one was a birthday gift from a sister to a sister. So I love when people ask me to make gifts for their loved ones, because I'm a big gift giver myself, and I like to put a lot of thought and intention into the gift giving process. And a lot of the time, I will just let myself think about the person, and then the first thing that pops into my head is what I usually get them. So this particular container is a gold and glass lotus, and typically it would be a candle holder, but that's what I use a lot, is like planters, like what we just saw, and things like this. So a candle holder. And so the base is white sand, And sand in general is a good representation or symbolic of calm and relaxation. And so you think of a beach, right? And
Right.
that's what I do a lot in the letters that I write with these gem and air sets is I don't give it to them like this. I actually have them build the sets so that they get to know each element of the set. And so that in that process, as they get to know each element, that they're almost, what's the word, passively programming it.
Yeah,
And
and putting
so,
on the stone
yes,
itself.
putting intention and yes, exactly. And so that's what the white sand means. And then we have the rose, no, those are morganite chips. So even better, not that rose quartz is less than morganite, but morganite is tends to be a more expensive crystal. It comes in different colors, so it can be pink, blue, green. But I picked the pink ones especially because I wanted to bring about more of the heart chakra into this set. So that's what the morganite chips help to amplify. And then, let's see here. We also have on the left side an amethyst slab, which is good for sleeping well and having rejuvenating sleep. Let me see here. The the carving in the middle, you can't really see it too well, but it's actually a woman's body. And I
Oh,
believe, yeah, it's hard to see, but that brings in the feminine. So basically the feminine energy. And what I like to think of feminine energy too is also the ability to receive as opposed to always giving, allowing yourself to receive the love, the relaxation that we all need, the ability to rest, that sort of thing. So that was a good reminder too for from a sister to a sister in this gift giving. And then on the right is a spirit flower geode. It is actually a new find. It was found in 2021 in the Mexico, I believe the Chihuahua region, and it is so new that they basically called it the, I believe it was called the find of the year, the crystal of the year in 2021. And it's a mix of fluorite and chalcedony or chalcedony, it depends on how you want to,
mhm.
you know, how you want to pronounce it. But basically, it's a wonderful crystal to support your intention. It has fluorite. It has fluorite properties, which is really good for abundance and attracting good intention and good positive vibes so that you're able to bring into your life the intentions that you hope to have.
So
So, or
where
that
would
you
this place this in your home?
So this, yeah, that's a good question because, of course, too, crystals have. I want to back up a little bit with the idea of feng shui. You're familiar with feng shui, correct? Yes. So particular crystals work with particular bagwas or particular parts of the home that are associated with love, relationships, helping people, that sort of thing. So I don't necessarily tell my clients or their loved ones where to put it. I feel like that's more what they feel they where they feel they should put it. But if I were to place this in my home, I would put it either in the love and relationship area. So if you're looking into a room and you orient the room to with the door, it would be the far right corner of the room.
Okay.
And yeah, and either that or the career bagua,
Okay.
which yeah. So that's where I
So
would place it
before
personally.
we go to the next one, if anyone in the audience has questions, please feel free to put them and we can answer those questions because we're going to get into how to make elixirs with crystals and some other properties and other crystals and what they actually can do to heal your body. Um,
Mhm.
so we're going to go to the next one, the
Oh,
bottles. I thought these were interesting. Tell us about that.
yeah. So these are intention bottles, and they have different crystals in them, of course. They're also small. So I want to say that it's probably an inch and a half at most. So they're fairly small. And what I like about that is you can just place them in your purse and have them with you. Or some people even, I used to wear crystals in my shirt or in the bra. A lot of women do that. So it's not like
I
it's
did
TMI.
that.
Or you could actually wear it as a necklace if it's not meant to infuse because it's not glued. I would be scared to do it only because it's not necessarily glued, and I don't like to glue things into things like this because it could be interchangeable, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the elements of this are there's decorative moss, so different color decorative moss to bring into Mother Nature natural elements. And then we have different types of double terminated crystals. The left, the yellow one is yellow jasper. I believe the one next to that is snowflake obsidian. I'm
Mm.
not quite sure. Or it could
And it
be,
looks
is it black? Yeah, sorry, I should have looked at the picture again. But then the one next to it is howlite. And then the one next to that, I believe, is flower agate, if I'm seeing it correctly. And then they
okay.
also have a
Yeah,
little,
idea. Because
yeah,
you can
thank
put it
you.
in your purse. I have lost so many crystals at work because they weren't contained in something like that, or I tried to tape it on somewhere on my body, or put it in my
Right,
pocket and lose it. So
right.
anyway,
It's I find crystals all over the place, and it's funny that the what people say like, oh, why is your bag so heavy? Do they have rocks in them? And yeah, I don't call them rocks, but there are definitely a lot of crystals in there.
okay, let's see. Let's go to this one. I want to ask what they are, so I'll let you explain that. This is interesting.
Oh, yes, yes. So this is a lot of heart energy, of course, feminine energy as well. We have the letter C. So I do have different letters that I found in my daily shopping, or because that's how I find containers, or at the base of these sets is I get inspired when I'm out and about with my family. And so I feel like that includes too the element of my family too, because I hardly ever actively go and look for specific containers. It's always with like a random shopping trip to different stores, with my family. So I feel like that's a nice incorporation into the intention of these sets. But we have a lot of, well, the base too is the white sand, bringing in the calm, relaxation, beach element. And then we also have the rose quartz chips. So we'll be talking about rose quartz later. And then also the rose quartz sphere at the top there, next to the air plant. And right under that, it's a little deceiving, but that's actually a hematite ring. And so yeah, that holds the sphere. And
The
so that's
long.
the black part under the rose quartz sphere.
Oh, it looked like it was a base underneath. Okay.
Right, exactly. And it serves a dual purpose. So it can be the base, but then you can also take it out and you can, like, I have a hematite ring right now, and you can wear it as a ring if you'd like.
Okay.
I try to incorporate into my set something that you can take along with you or wear as jewelry so that it reminds you of that set that's at home.
Okay. So none of
Yeah,
your gifts are always the same. It's always going to be different.
always different. I hardly ever repeat sets. In fact, I don't remember a time when I actually have when everything was exactly the same. It was always a different crystal or a different setup. And for me, that just speaks to the individuality of people in general. because I do try to design sets and things with the person in mind.
And we have a question. Do you work with protective crystals like black tourmaline or black obsidian?
I do. I do. I personally have black obsidian actually sitting in the front of our doorway. So as soon as you come in, I have this, like, this little set right here. I
Oh,
have much larger fishbowl that I turned into a larger set. And within that is a large obsidian sphere that I use to basically uh, clean the energy as it moves in through the front door. And I
I
do
love
have to remember to,
that. I have these spheres
yes,
all around.
exactly, exactly. Mine is huge. I want to say that it's the same size as this one right here.
Yeah, I have the different sizes. I have the bigger ones and then the small ones, but I also
Yes,
have some in my necklace that I have on. My jewelry is always going to be crystals and things like that. So,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Uh,
And so yes, I do believe that people who collect crystals or work with crystals, that yes, it's important to incorporate protective crystals like black tourmaline or black obsidian into your work, because that is more to protect ourselves, not only ourselves, but with the people that we work with too. Because the energy that's not because I hesitate to say negative energy, because energy is energy, and it either works for you or works against you. And so to be able to have the proper energy that moves through your home, that helps others that you are working with, um, that's what things like black tourmaline and black obsidian assist you with, is to get the right energy in the room.
mhm. Thank you for that comment, North Black.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
And then, did we have? You were gonna explain that. Well, I'm curious about the long piece.
Oh yes, it's pink opal.
Oh, okay. I was trying to. I'm pretty good with stones. I'm like, I'm not really sure, but yeah.
Yes, yes, pink opal. It's
Okay.
very pretty. Yeah,
All right. And did we look at all four? Let's see.
I think we
Let's see.
did.
Yeah, we did. Okay,
hmm
good. So then, we were also going to discuss some of the metaphysical properties. And I picked
Yeah.
out a few. Um, so, lapis lazuli. Can
hmm
you discuss some of the healing properties of lapis?
Yes. So I have a lapis lazuli crystal right here, and it's a smaller tower, but of course, obviously, deep blue with a little bit of pyrite, of course, and then the calcite and grays as well. And so lapis lazuli is associated, well, I want to backtrack a little bit here just to be clear. Crystals vibrate or work well with specific chakras. And so the chakra system, for those who may not be familiar, are essentially, if you think of your body as not only physical body, but the energetic body, the chakras are specific parts of that energetic body. And so there are seven main chakras, and it starts at the root at the base of the spine, then moves up to the sacral chakra, which is more like the reproductive organs area, right below, a little bit right below the umbilical, or not the umbilical cord, but the belly button, and then moving up the solar plexus, which is right below the rib cage, and then we have the heart chakra, and then the throat, and then we have the third eye, and then the crown. So the lapis lazuli is associated with the third eye, so intuition. And it also helps to connect us to the crown chakra and the throat as well. So because the lapis lazuli is blue, the chakras are associated with certain colors too. So throat is blue, and then the third eye is indigo. So that's kind of how you can tell, if you're just looking at a specific crystal, which chakra they would work with typically, is what color they come in. And
Right.
let's see here. Yeah, yeah.
It's
And
known
so,
as the stone of wisdom. So
I'm
a
sorry.
lot of it, and it's known as the stone of wisdom.
Yes, the
And
stone
a
of
lot of
wisdom.
indigenous cultures use it for journeying.
Yes,
And
and I was gonna say that too. Is lapis lazuli is great for past life work, and whether you believe in past lives or not, and if you do, that's so you automatically think, oh yeah, great, that's wonderful, the journeying process and that sort of thing. But if you're one who doesn't really resonate with past life, then you can still work with this crystal, because how many of us believe that we are the same person we were 20 years ago or 10 years ago? I've said many times in my life, like, oh gosh, that feels like lifetimes ago, when I was in my teens or when I was in my 20s, because I definitely wouldn't make the same decision I would have back then at my age now. And so, if you're working to release karmic patterns from even just this lifetime, like earlier in your life, where you feel like you're still dealing with the repercussions of a really bad mistake you made when you were a teenager, and then even if it's just that, that's what lapis lazuli helps to assist with.
right,
So
it's
that's what I like
really
to think.
one of my favorites because, like you said, it's a stone of meditation, and I'm going to be offering hypnosis kits on my website. So it's like it's great for hypnosis. Not
Yeah.
that I put people pretty deep, so I'm not sure if they should be using. Some people should be using it, but yeah, it's also like it's a stone of good luck.
Mm-hmm.
It contacts your spiritual guardians, and it
Yes.
blocks a psychic attack. It's a pretty highly protective stone as well. It's known to
Yeah.
reverse curses and harmonize your mind, body, and spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And just getting, like you said, it's a powerful amplifier for the higher mind and consciousness, and dissolves emotional bondage, any suffering, anything like that.
Right.
But what I didn't know is that it alleviates pain as well,
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
and it will
I've read
stimulate
about that.
your throat, your larynx, your thyroid, the thymus, all of those areas, um, and it can help you overcome hearing loss. So it's one of my favorite stones. And
Mm.
from what they say, you should put this in the meditation or a prayer room or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I've also heard that if you are interested in feng shui, that it's a good place to put in the helpful people area. So the first, that would be in the right corner closest to you, as when you're walking into a space. So if you were to walk through a door, just off to your right.
That's really good. And
Mm-hmm.
just for the people who believe in a lot of the mythology, if you can call it mythology, it's the stone of the mermaids. So just so you know,
Of the what?
of the mermaids.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I love mermaids.
And who knows? I don't think it's beyond being myth. But anyways,
I don't think so either.
we also have our next stone, which you were mentioning earlier, the rose quartz. I'll let you
Yes.
get it.
Yes. So rose quartz, I have an example of rose quartz here. This was given to me by one of my lovely crystal friends. She actually owns a shop too, and hers is called Adjust Your Crown Boutique, and she's on Instagram. And so rose quartz is a beautiful crystal for the heart chakra. It is, what I like to explain it as is, it helps you to have not only love for others, so expressing love to others, but also having that deep love for yourself. Because really, it starts with yourself, and how deeply you go with yourself is how deeply you can love and express that love to others. So that's what rose quartz helps with. It's also supportive for people who are going through some type of loss or severance in a relationship. So it's good for separation or divorce or things like that. And it's really a wonderful, supportive, gentle energy that I think a lot of, if you're just starting out in collecting crystals, that a lot of people gravitate towards it naturally because it is so inviting and so gentle and has a very calm, even, balanced energy.
Yeah, I like. Um, they say to place it under your mattress or under your bed,
Yeah.
and improve your romantic relationships.
Hmm.
You can use it in crystal grids or make elixirs from this if they're polished. So it's
Yes,
really
yes, and actually they're great as for plants. Plants love rose quartz. So either you can put a rose quartz tumble in like the pots on the soil, or what I do is I have the misters that you use to take care of your plants, and I put crystal chips in the misters and then water. And so basically it's like rose quartz water. And so I use that to mist my plants, and they
oh
love
that.
it.
So you put a little water in. You have the chips, and then you put a little water. So does it kind of the water evaporate for the little air plant, or you still
Right.
in?
Well, so the idea is to have the water be amplified with the rose quartz energy. And then, so yeah, so you would just spray the air plants with the water. And then, so they would also get the rose quartz energy as well. So
Oh,
that,
okay.
yeah, it's really, there are specific crystals that are helpful that plants love, and rose quartz is one of them.
Okay, good. And it's one, and it loves water. Some stones
Yeah,
don't like water.
correct. Selenite, you don't know. We'll talk
Yeah,
about that later.
let's do one night since you brought it up. And I have. Do you have a sample? Because I have a couple.
Of
I
selenite?
Yeah,
Oh
I have
yeah, I
sample.
came prepared. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have mine, and I have the polished ones that you use for
Oh
um,
yeah. I
healing.
had this from another crystal shop friend of mine. Well, she was my friend first, and now she has a crystal shop too.
Oh, that's
But
pretty.
it's a charging plate. Yeah, pretty
Oh
thick
yeah,
too.
that's a
Yeah,
nice shirt. That's big. How many
yeah, it's
inches?
big. It's like as big as the palm of my hand.
Oh, I need one of those. Look,
Yeah,
I'm
it's gorgeous.
saying I need a crystal.
Oh,
These towers, I love these towers.
yes, the towers are beautiful, definitely.
And then you can get the polished ones, so that like if you do any like energetic healing work or with working with the chakras.
That is
But that,
true. That is true. Yeah. And actually, now that we're on the subject a little bit about selenite, we might revisit it later. But it helps with spine, back pain, which I tend to have back pain because of my line of work as an echocardiographer, and also having 5 kids. So
have
I,
kids.
yeah. So I like to have, if I remember, I'll put a selenite heart that was gifted to me by my friend, who I just showed the plate, or got the plate from her. Um, she gifted me a heart that I think it was my third pregnancy. And yeah, it was my third pregnancy. And I would put that heart if my back was having a particularly hard time. I'd put it under my pillow. And for the most part, yeah, it works really well. I'll just wake up and go about my day, and later I would think, oh, I didn't wake up all achy. So
And you can use these ones like when you come home and you've had a stressful day. Just
clearing
place
your aura, yes.
it
Hmm.
replenish your energy and it repairs
That's
energy leaks. It
Yes,
protects your aura, just it dissipates any negative emotions and energy. And
that
I
is
just
right.
I use these in grids in my home because it's a highly protective stone as well.
Yes, that too. That too. And it holds its charge well. We'll talk about like how to clear crystals in a little bit, but yes, it holds its clearing charge. And so that's why people like to put crystals on top of the plates, on top of selenite plates, because especially if it's a crystal that doesn't isn't around windows, or you tend to forget to clear like overnight during a full moon, or you don't want to set it out in the sun, then placing it on a selenite plate helps to clear it.
Yeah, love that. I love selenite. You can't get enough of this stuff.
Yes,
And then figurines. Do you have like figurines in your store of
I
selenite?
do. I do. I have a laughing Buddha, and he's great. I love him. Yeah, he's in my shop, and then I have a couple other carvings that, because gosh, you can do so much with selenite just in general. It's a pretty hardy stone to be able to craft into anything, really. So,
It's really
yeah.
what good for connecting to like the spirit realm. So if you're trying to work with your
Yeah.
spirit guide, you definitely want to have some selenite for your
Yes,
crown chakra. Definitely.
I agree. I agree. Mm.
So let's move into carnelian because that's another highly protective stone that they used in ancient Kamit or Egypt,
Ah, yes.
and
So I have an example. Oh,
Yay, you got a big one. Let me see.
I
Tell
know
me.
this is a large one. My sister actually, this is in her order. But I told her, I was like, I'm going to show your heart,
Can you turn
your
it
carnelian
around?
heart.
Turn it around the other. Turn
Oh
it the
yeah,
other.
it's
Oh, that
beautiful
is
dancing.
nice.
Yeah,
Like how big
beautiful
is
court.
that?
I'm sorry.
How big? How many inches? Like
Oh gosh, let me actually. I have a ruler right here. Let me see. This one is from top of the heart to the bottom of the heart. It's about 4.5 inches, and then it's about 4 inches wide.
oh,
So
I
four and a
love
half top
it.
to bottom, and four wide.
And
Yeah.
it's flat. So if you wanted to lay it on your body,
Yes.
this is the
It
excellent.
won't roll off.
Okay, I'm really a lover of crystals, so you can kind of
Yes.
tell.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, carnelian is a really good crystal for people who are wanting to work on their lower chakras, so like the sacral chakra and the root chakra. Because of the color, there's carnelians that are more red. So, I would recommend using the redder carnelians for the root chakra. So, if you're working on stability, feeling safe, even financial issues and that sort of a thing, and wanting to be more stable in that sense, then working with the root is helpful. And then with the more orange toned carnelians, I would recommend that for the sacral chakra work. So if you're wanting to be more creative, or if you're wanting to work on relationships or um, your own sexual energy, and then that is a good color of carnelian to work with. So, yeah. Do you have any input on carnelian too, Renee?
Yes, because it's a stone that was used in ancient Egypt, especially worn by royalty.
Ah,
The pharaohs would wear them, and it's known as the stone of the sun because it
yes.
resembles the sunset. And so it's also known as the singer's stone because it removes fear and instills confidence by people who are performing.
Ah, yes, yes.
It's also associated with your sacral chakra as well
Mm-hmm.
as your root. But it is, according to the Book of the Dead, the ancient Egyptians would place carnelian over the breastplate of the deceased because it's believed that it would make their transition um, smooth in the afterlife.
Mm.
And
Mm.
but it's also good for reproductive health because it's that
Mhm.
area, down there.
Yep.
But it's a zone of joy.
Mhm.
And so during the corn moon, um, there's many cultures will say to use it. And so what you would do is take the stone, wrap it in a corn husk, kind of put a little string around it, and then when you're ready to do your ceremony, during this is into indigenous culture. When you then
Mhm.
unwrap it, and then you would just hold the carnelian in one hand, burn the you input cedar wood in there, and then you burn it, and then you hold it,
Mhm.
and then you state your intentions. So that's just a little
Mm.
for
I love
there.
that.
But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's a very, very powerful stone, and it's good for abundance and good luck as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Gorgeous stone.
Yeah, it has a lot of health benefits as well. Low back pain, like you said,
Mhm. Mhm.
stimulates metabolism. Um, it motivates courage. It reduces anger. It can help you, like with elixirs, you can improve your absorption of vitamins and minerals, and enhance your sexual energy and
Right.
improve concentration.
Mhm.
So I love it. And I just
Yes.
lost two of my carnelian stones somewhere because I don't know. I sleep with them and I do stuff, and when I'm meditating, I done lost two of them. I gotta replace them again.
I'm sure they'll turn up when you most need them.
I know.
that's how we. That's how they turn up.
After I buy some more, they'll show up.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, any questions on any of that from the audience? We do have some comments. Okay. Selenite is one of the favorites. Let's see.
Yes.
Okay. So the next one was obsidian. Someone was asking about.
Yep, we touched a little bit on obsidian, but a little bit of the back work or the background of obsidian is it is volcanic rock. And I love that symbolism because it is, gosh, just the idea and the visualization of the fire and then it moving and then cooling immediately in water. It is like just it's a beautiful image to me, really, of that death and rebirth sort of process. And because it has so much of that it has that fire energy within it too, and then the complete opposite of the cooling energy. It's like a beautiful representation of the dichotomy of life, basically, and the death and the rebirth again. But it is specifically and usually used as a crystal that will help to support protective or protection. And so, if you feel that you do need that type of protection from energy that you would rather not have around you, then that is a really good thing to either have in the home, placed strategically, usually right as you walk into your front door. If the front door is what you usually use to enter your home, some people go through the garage door a lot of the time. So maybe having it near that specific door would be a good thing too. People who work in the healthcare field or who do what we do in hypnotherapy as well, or in talk therapy or that sort of thing, where we're working one on one with clients. It's not that we expect them to give us negative energy. It's not that. It's more just energy that's not ours. And
Mhm.
if we are naturally empaths or people who take on other people's energy, whether we want to or not, it is a good crystal to have there as a visual reminder not to take on anyone else's energy, but also it does its own work just being there by decreasing that chance of you taking it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also
So
a creative stone too.
yeah.
What I like about it is that if you have experienced trauma in your life, it's a good stone
Mm,
to have because it helps you. It forces you to confront it and become your authentic self, and you actually feel the emotions that are trapped. But you, that's a good thing. You have to feel your
Yes.
feelings so that it can be
Feel it to
released.
heal it.
And that's what
Yeah.
it will. It'll make you feel them only to release. And
Yes.
so it magnifies them, and then once they're magnified and you can release it, it's gone. So I
Mm.
like to use it also. One of the stones for my hypno kits is to use it for past lives, because you can remove old, worn out, dysfunctional family patterns using this stone. And then
Yes.
um, it also reverses the misuse of power and addresses like inequities in all situations. So it helps you with your
Yes.
personal power
That's
and to
right.
focus on the positive. So I love that. But it's also really used by a lot of indigenous cultures to make tools. Very sharp. I have
Hmm.
the arrowheads.
Yes.
They are
I was gonna say the
sharp.
arrowheads. They're very sharp.
They are
I
so
have them in
sharp.
my collection too. I just can't get it right now.
I used to keep them in my purse. So if I'm out and about at nighttime, somebody's gonna get an arrowhead on it.
They
But
really could cut somebody. Yeah, that's right.
yeah, those are some dangerous things. Yeah. But yeah,
Hmm.
it's real good. And then the last one we have is Moldavite.
Oh, so much to say about this wonderful one. Okay, so a little bit of background about Moldavite, because I do have just a tiny one here. But tiny but mighty. Talk about tiny, it's mighty for sure in its energy. And oh yeah, I see a comment from North Black. Thank you so much for keeping the chat alive, North Black. We appreciate you.
So
Hmm.
she's saying interesting learning the history of how crystals were used by different cultures. Yeah,
Yes,
we have a long
definitely.
history with these crystals, and that's
Definitely. Oh
good.
gosh.
They're so
And
beneficial.
oh sure, definitely. And Moldavite is one of them. Moldavite was thought to have been formed about 15 million years ago when a meteorite hit the Earth's surface. And it was thought that it went all the way down to the Earth's core and then just spread out, its carnage for miles, basically. And so the cooling effect, like what we were talking about with obsidian, resulted in this green crystal. And it's thought to be more and more because it was from a meteorite. The mining itself, it's not going to get replaced. It's not just going to be born of this earth like the other crystals are. And so it is pricey. It comes with a price tag, and the area that the meteorite was thought to hit was the Czech Republic area. And so, because it has the energy of the meteorite, so the cosmic energy, and then it's connecting with the Earth's energy, it's thought to have, again, those two different worlds coming together. And so a lot of people, I don't know if you've seen on TikTok, all those videos about people working with Moldavite. It went viral like a year ago, I want to say, back in 2021 when I first acquired this baby right here.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, people were having it was it went viral for a reason, but at the same time, you have to be careful with working with it. And even just holding it in my hand now, I typically keep it in my shop area because what it does is it's a good attractor of abundance too, and uh, prosperity and that sort of thing. So I do keep it in my shop. But even in just holding it in my hand just now, because I'm going to put it down now, it has very strong energy. And so typically I will put the Moldavite in my left hand because the left side of the body is thought to be the receiving side, the feminine side. And so you're telling yourself that you want to receive that intention that you set for yourself. And so the Moldavite in general is associated with the third eye. soul, your intuition, and your inner wisdom, your self-trust, your ability to connect to with your crown. So it's cool because you not only see that, you see because if you think of the third eye as the earth, so Mother Earth, and then you think of the crown as a connection to the cosmos, then even in the chakras that it works with, it represents how it came to be in the first place. And so that connection between the third eye and the cosmos is so powerful, and it helps you to be more courageous, more confident in yourself to be able to do the work that you came here to do and to step into your purpose, which I think a lot of people, if they haven't already, they feel that calling. And it's once you say yes to that calling, everything just falls into place typically. So
Okay, so let me tell you about Motivate.
yes.
Just simply step into your purpose. It pushes you into that purpose. And it
Right? Good segue, right?
and all around, but you know what I was told by a good friend of mine who is a psychic medium to talk to your crystal, especially the Motivite. Tell the Motivite you want change, but you want it to be graceful and gradual, and you know
Mm-hmm.
you don't want it because it will change every single thing that's wrong, and it will flip your life upside down like it did mine. So
That
yeah.
that was a lot of the video that was going on TikTok. It was just people having these crazy experiences, and like, because yes, they weren't quite specific with their intention. So that's the big part, is being
So
specific.
if you're going to work with Motivate, please be intentional and be clear and make sure that it's going to be gently bringing you
Yes,
to life.
yes,
It can be
exactly.
harsh, but it's a very good protective stone.
It really is. It really is.
So um, we have another comment from Andrea.
Hi, Andrea. Hi, Andrea. She's my friend. Ooh, she's the one who gifted me this for my birthday
Uh,
last year. Hi, Andrea.
now, I want one, Andrea, so well, you know you're going to have to send us one too. But anyway, I do have a treat because on the subject of crystal healing, Sedona, Arizona is known for being a mecca of healing and things like that, and all things UFO and extraterrestrial. So I would like to play a short clip, and you guys please leave a comment and tell me what you think about it. Whether you try some of these things that it's bringing, but I'm not going to say anymore. Just listen to the clip. It's a very short clip.
Wow.
Particular crystal that was in Brazil, but there's another one here in Sedona, Arizona. And so during your session with these crystal bogles that are for each chakra point, the it connects you to the extraterrestrials in the area, and they make their presence known and they aid in healing. So that is really interesting. I personally am not decided whether I do something like that, but definitely it's something that's happened. You can set up UFO tours in Sedona, but you can also go to the resort and have that kind of session. Now, I think it's pretty selective on who they actually work with because some people, like there was a scientist who went there and she recorded her experience, but they didn't approach her, so I don't know. It was selective,
Mm.
but I think that I know that some extraterrestrials are here on the earth right now. They haven't. A lot of them haven't made their presence known, but apparently they do in Sedona, Arizona. So, we do have a couple comments. We have Andrea
Yes.
said, just watching how the bed worked shook her spirit, and then we got a wow and amazing. And then also have another comment from, it must be your niece.
Oh,
It says,
oh hey, Safa. um,
hello, nephew. Is this your niece or nephew?
my nephew.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you
so,
for your support.
but, crystals are amazing in and of itself. They do a lot for us. Um, so, we did talk a little bit about programming crystals. Teresa, can you tell us how you would recommend us programming our crystals?
So if it's outside of the hypnotherapy session, then really, because there are different schools of thought with programming in general. And what I typically uh, advise someone to do if they've never worked with crystals before is to look at crystals in a shop or, do a little bit of research. And whatever they gravitate towards naturally or whatever they feel a natural pull towards is typically the crystal that is for them. And if they look up the metaphysical, uh, the meanings or the properties of that particular crystal, then a lot of the times it resonates with the person. So there's that the crystal finds you, you find the crystal element there. And so some people believe because of that that you don't need to program it at all. That if you decide to invest in that particular crystal, then you're doing the work just by investing in it and having it in your home, in your space. And, you know, not just setting it off the side and not doing anything with it at all, but, picking it up, washing it, that sort of thing, connecting with it, just like you would a plant that you bring into your home. Or even, I want to say, like a pet, because even though pets are obviously on a different tier, there's still that idea of truly connecting with something that is of a representation of Mother Nature and taking care of it and not just ignoring it or not just acquiring it and doing nothing with it. So, but if you want to actively program it, then I do suggest holding it in your left hand, like what I did with the Moldavite, which I'm not going to pick up right now because it is intense energy. but holding it in your left hand, because your left hand is thought to be the receiving hand, and holding that intention in your mind of what you want to work with it. Because I hesitate to use the word use, because I don't want to use a crystal for anything. It's more like a partner in your success or a companion on your journey. That's what I call my crystals in my shop, is TLC's companions. So it's kind of a play on words, right? But it's really working with crystals to help you have the best human experience that you possibly can. Because really, we're here, even though life can be really hard a lot of the time, we are here as soul energy having a human experience. And a lot of that human experience is to experience joy and to experience the good things in life, and finding the silver lining in your situations, no matter how hard your situations can be. And so, I'm just going a little on that tangent. That's how you program crystals, is having an intention for yourself, working with this gift from Mother Nature or from outer space, and having that intention that you want to bring a specific experience into your life, and believing it without seeing it first, because that's the whole basis of faith.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be complicated.
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
So I just go, you could
What's
tap on
that?
it and just,
Oh, you
if
tap
you're,
on it. Okay. Yeah.
oh, with these style crystals, they're a little different. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of the information where you see the insides, the little cracks and stuff, those
Yes.
are stored and encoded information. So this point has to be down so that you can receive the
Mm-hmm.
information.
Mm-hmm.
But
And you can, yep. Mm-hmm. Right.
just research a little bit on Google, and it'll tell you how to do it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, um, also, how would we make elixirs? Because there's a safe way to do it and one that is not so safe.
That's correct. I don't make elixirs myself, but I know that a lot of the idea is to be safe with what you're doing. So I would never suggest that someone ingest crystals, or because some people will, there are water bottles out there that have the crystal directly touching the water itself. And even though I said that that's okay for plants, which it is, with the rose quartz water and that sort of thing that I use to spray my air plants, I wouldn't recommend it for human use in that way. And so I can't necessarily speak to the elixir making. I just know that personally, whatever I would use, it would, I wouldn't necessarily have the water touch the crystal. For sprays are fine. I mean, my niece makes crystal sprays. This one is in particular a cleansing crystal spray, and it has black tourmaline in it. And so what I do is I spray the crystals around me that are bigger, that I can't necessarily have out on the windowsill. Otherwise, the windowsills would be full of crystals on the full moon. But I would spray those particular crystals, and yes. So that's what I would say about elixirs in general. Is just be careful. I wouldn't ingest
I
anything
don't
that
make
could have.
elixirs.
Go ahead.
Sun charge some, and you can moon charge
Yes,
some. But they definitely have to
exactly.
be polished. They cannot be the rough, ones like this.
Yes,
Want to make
the
sure they're
tumbled
polished.
ones are. Mm-hmm.
And I actually sun charge my water. You leave at, at sunrise, and you can take it out at sunset. But I will put a polished crystal in there and get the energy of the crystals right there. And they're perfectly safe. If you look at Judy
Mm-hmm.
Hall has a ton of books on crystals and making elixirs and things like that. So I would recommend getting her book. Because there are some crystals that love water, some do
Mm-hmm.
not. Some you have to use the indirect method in infusing that into the water and
Mm-hmm.
programming the water to get the benefits. And then sometimes you can do it to the moonlight. So
Yes.
depending on when you can see
Moon
moonlight,
water. Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's definitely healing properties. But I did want to leave something with you guys because I do work with the archangels. So each archangel works with crystals. So with Archangel Michael, he works with
Mm.
sodalite. Do you have that stone in your shop?
Sodalite.
Sugarlight.
Oh,
And
sugarlight. I do, but it was a specific request because it can be pretty expensive. It is
well,
expensive, actually.
I have this power. I'm just showing.
Oh,
Um,
that's gorgeous. Look at that.
but Archangel Michael works with Sugarlight. Um, he's one of the most powerful archangels of protection. But yeah,
I like
I
to
just
say
want
Michael is my homeboy. Yeah.
to. And then, of course, Archangel Raphael works with malachite. And I love
Mm.
malachite. You were saying you use, what did you say you use for your back pain?
Oh, the
Selenite.
selenite. Mm-hmm.
I use malachite. And
Oh, I
malachite
should
is
try
for
malachite
any
too.
area of your body that is in pain. And I had been in an accident like you. And I would take the flat malachite stones similar to this, like the little flat ones, put it on the
Mm-hmm.
back area, and it takes
Mm.
about the same amount of time as Tylenol or a lead would, and it would relieve the pain.
Oh,
So you can do that. And
I need to
then
try
we
malachite.
have Metatron is watermelon tourmaline, and that's another good stone.
Really?
Yeah.
Metatron, yes. I have
And,
his the cube on this
oh,
obsidian plate. Yeah.
oh, yeah. What is that plate?
It's obsidian. It's obsidian. And
It's,
actually it must be gold. It has little specks of gold in it, so it's a gold obsidian. These
oh,
mirrors. Look how
you
reflective that is. I love that
must
about obsidian.
have all of your crystals.
Yeah.
And
uh,
Archangel Gabriel, or I say Gabriel, some people say Gabriel, I say Gabriel.
mhm.
Gabriel works with copper. It's not a crystal,
Oh,
but
yes.
it works with copper. And
I love
if you-
copper.
you're mostly 75 to 85% water, you definitely want to use copper. You can
Hmm.
use like stones like this, and it'll stay on your body. Let's go like this. It'll stay on your throat chakra during
Mm.
meditation, and
Hmm.
you get it amplifies the if you use frequency, it amplifies it even more. If you use other
Oh,
stones, it will amplify it even more than the crystal itself. Um,
very nice.
and then I want to go through just the major archangels. And then Azrael works with yellow calcite. That's a wonderful peaceful stone.
Oh, nice.
The archangel Raziel works with clear quartz.
Okay.
Tamio works with fluorite. The archangel
Fluorite.
Uriel works with amber. Sandalphon works with turquoise. The archangel
Mom's favorite
Jophiel
too.
with rubellite. And the
Mm.
archangel Haniel works with moonstone. The archangel Zadkiel works with lapis lazuli. And it's really interesting because he also helps you assist with developing your clear audience, and
Oh,
it helps you inspire forgiveness, love, kindness, things like that, and heal emotional pain.
well,
And then the archangel Raquel worked with aquamarine,
yes, aquamarine's a good one too.
and then
Beautiful.
lastly, the archangel Jeremiah works with amethyst. So that's just my take
Tried
on.
and true amethyst, yes.
Now you
Love
know
it.
those, a lot of the properties of the crystals are also what the angels themselves helps you with in your healing. So
That's
that was
beautiful. I love the angels, like to the angelic realm. My fourth baby was named after the seraphim, and she's quite the fiery one.
what,
I was asking for that one. So yeah.
what is your youngest one's name?
My fourth is her, who was named after the seraphim. Her name is Seraphina.
Oh, Serafina.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I wanted to ask you a question on, and I love asking this question. Um, um, what you, what would you do, or what are you doing to make this world a better place? And what do you think will help change the world?
I love this question too. I really do. And actually, the answer to that question was what started me down this path, this very direct path of entrepreneurship, and started my guided meditation, or started my meditation practice in general. I was in very deep meditation one morning, and the question was prompted: what would change the world? What do I believe would change the world? And a voice, whether it was mine or someone else's, I don't know, but it was kind of on the right side of me, through the right side of me, I could just hear very distinctly, when mothers love their daughters. And that struck me because I had a daughter at the time already. I had my first daughter, and I was like, why did either my cognitive mind, or why did I hear that? And I just felt it to be a truth. And as I reflected on that statement, I realized that as women, we're the ones who bring, the future generations into the world. Of course, with the help of our male counterparts. But as women, we bring the human body into the world, and we can only love our children as much as we love ourselves. That's just the truth of it. And so the more deeply we love and care for ourselves on a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic levels, on all those levels, the more we can offer that love to our children. And especially with the mother-daughter relationship, I feel like the the mother-daughter relationship is so special because you are teaching a woman, a future woman, how to be. And when you give that gift of self love and self care to your daughter, you are allowing her to do the same thing and to offer that to the future generations.
That's
And so,
amazing.
that's part of my work here at Stillness Gems. Is there's actually in memory of my mom too. So I'm honoring the relationship I had with my mom. It wasn't perfect. I don't think any relationship with a mother is perfect, but it was a catalyst for me, really. And having my own daughter too, and this is in legacy for her too, and to work with women in general, and having that self love to be able to give that to their children, is something that I know I was here put on earth to do and to support. So
And
yeah.
that's something I always believe myself, and I'm always encouraging people to love and nourish their children first,
Mm, mm,
foremost, before other things. Don't put your career ahead of your children because
mm.
they are so important. And when, like you said, the love of a mother to a daughter, but also the love of a mother to a son can
Oh
be
yeah.
so important for him to grow up and be the man that he needs to be in that his relationship when he grows up. So thank you
Oh,
for sharing.
definitely. Thank you. Mm.
So we had a comment that she loves Judy Hall. Judy Hall has so many reference books on crystals and metaphysical and healing properties. She also
Yeah.
puts in feng shui, all of that. So please
Oh
check
yeah.
out Judy. And someone asked about where the place was in Sedona, Arizona. There's one in Sedona and one in Brazil. So, and they both have the same name. So you want to check them out. Yeah. And so before you go today, is there anything you would like to say to our audience, listening audience today?
Of course, yes. I do again want to thank you, Renee, for having me on your podcast and for bringing so much content to what we discussed, because I love that you did your research too, and it was a nice back and forth between the shared knowledge. So I love that. Thank you so much. I did want to mention to you all that I do host live sales on Instagram, albeit it's been a long time since I have done one. But I will be having a crystal live sale on Tuesday, September 13th at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you would like to join me on Instagram, I will have a table full of beautiful crystals that are up for adoption. And so please join if you can. And then if you are in the Washington State area, I will be hosting my first workshop. It will be around the idea of self hypnosis, and then programming the crystal that you bring to the workshop to the intention that you will be using in your self hypnosis. And I call that workshop Finding Stillness with Gems. And that will be October 12th at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at the Crescent Moon Gifts shop in Tacoma, Washington.
Oh, nice. And please, can you put your contact information in the chat? I did
I
not
will.
set that up, but
Yeah.
hi from Manchester, England. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Mike.
Nice to have you here.
Yes,
Any
nice to have
comments or
you.
questions from the audience before we go today? Oh, and let's see. I have her information. I'll put it in the chat. 1 second.
I might be doubling the information or repeating the information you just put in, but
Oh,
those are how the different ways that you can reach me is at
okay.
stillnessgems.com. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna show it.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. We are quite a bit over our normal, but
Yeah.
Mike has a question. Do you have a comment? How do you feel about Amber Heard?
Amber Heard. I'm not
I actually
familiar.
have a comment on Amber Heard. She's a person who has had her traumas, and everyone's had their traumas, and they need healing. And I wish her well, and I wish her the best. And actually, when you think about people who are considered to be narcissistic, their chakras are out of balance. So some people have closed chakras, some people have chakras that are way too open, and then they tend to have a narcissistic personality. And you want to have those people with their chakras aligned and balanced so they can be more connected to their feelings and their body because they're disconnected from their feelings, so they don't have empathy. So,
Mm.
yeah. Oh, Mike said he's always had a fancy for her, but I wish her well. Thank
Mm.
you so much, you guys. It's been a pleasure, and you guys have a great evening.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Like, share, and subscribe. And if you're watching on the replay, please leave a comment. We will get back to you. And
Mm-hmm.
let us know about the content that I'm bringing and anything that you would like to hear in the future. Please leave a comment and let us know what your interests are. All right. Thank you, North Flag. Thank you for
Bye.
joining us again. And bye, guys.
Bye.